let's talk about the organization structure, because you guys have a very interesting way of organizing yourselves and how you compensate people. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so this is a big part of the reason our founding team came together. We had a lot of philosophical alignment on if we were going to build something new, how we wanted to build it. And there's a sort of a few pillars of that I'll speak to quickly. The first one was we wanted to stay small and independent by design. And while Buildium was this big success, we kind of looked at that business and we said we had a lot more fun when we were a company of 20 people, or a lot more fun at 20 people than we had at 200 people. And I think just as you grow headcount that much, the organization slows down, there becomes some inner politics, all those sorts of things. So we said, let's stay small. And aside from that, we see a lot of inefficiency in the headcount that gets added to these venture-backed companies. You see, big sales organizations get built out. You see big customer service organizations get built out. And when we looked at that, we said, you know what, a lot of those customer service reps, and I'm just using that as an example, ultimately are really just escalating tickets to the engineers who can fix the problem. And we said, why don't we just use a different model where everybody does support? We hire really senior people, and the people that are responding to your support tickets are the ones that can actually fix the problem for you too. So there's kind of this fundamental belief or objective within Outseta to see how far we can push the company with about 20 people. And that's an artificial cap. Like, we could certainly grow over that, but we want to sort of artificially constrain ourselves because we think it breeds a lot of good habits. And if we're hiring really senior, excellent people, we think we can solve problems without just throwing bodies at them, essentially. The second part of it is we are what's called self-managed. That basically just means there's no bosses. So the overarching sentiment is we're trying to empower autonomous decision-making, and we're trying to just bring the best people into the company that we possibly can, sort of let them figure out where they can best contribute and just let them do their thing without the need for boss or oversight or anything like that. So that also is easier to do in the context of a smaller team rather than a larger team. But that was really important to us. And then because of the product that we offer, we know that the people that work at Outseta are going to be entrepreneurial type people in general, or most likely will be. So we wanted to come up with a flexible compensation model that allows people to work on other projects. So we've standardized the salary. If you work on Outseta, regardless of your role, 5 days a week, you make $210,000 per year. But you can choose how many days you want to work. So if you want to work 1 day a week, it's $42,000 a year. 2 days a week is $84,000 a year, all the way up to that full-time salary. Alternatively, you can also choose to what extent you want to work for equity in the business. And you can devote a certain number of days per week to working for equity. So right now, using myself as an example, I'm getting paid for 3 days a week. That's a salary of $126,000 a year. And then 2 days a week, I'm working for equity and building up my equity stake in Outseta. And it's kind of a pick your own adventure model, which we think is appealing to people and a nice recruiting tool. But beyond that, there's no, everyone's treated the same. If you come on to Outseta, you get equity on the exact same terms as my equity as a founder. You get paid the exact same amount that I get paid. So it's very much like a membership-based organization, similar to a DAO that we've employed at this point.